Oh, it's recording. Greetings. Greetings. Thank you. Thank you for clicking on this. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. Once again, I'm back with something I want to talk about, but not really sure where we're going with this. Let's let it flow. I'm going to camp. I am going to camp, which to me, I feel like this is like my teenage dream because I always wanted to go to camp when I was little, and I wasn't allowed to because boys were there, and I wasn't allowed to be around boys or whatever, okay? So now that I'm 36 years old and I mentor all these teen mommies, I got invited to go to camp this summer with them, and I'm going, and I'm really anxious and nervous about it, but I'm excited too because we're going to be going for 5 days, and when we get there we have to give our phones over. So for 5 days I will not have access to any phone, which for me, okay, I don't care about looking at crap, right? Yeah, I do. I care about that too. But mostly it's not being able to get in touch with my family or the people I talk to regularly for 5 days. So that causes a little bit of anxiety, but I'm really excited for I'm really open to what God wants to do. I'm really excited for what God's gonna do. I'm going there expecting, and I know that the Lord is going to, he's gonna show, he's with me always, but he's put this in my path for a specific reason, and I'm really excited to see what that is. And I would have never ever been a part of something like this a few years ago. I remember a few years ago feeling I was too sinful to serve God. So the enemy with that mindset kept me dormant. You know what I mean? I was not stepping out in any way because I was no, I'm too sinful, I'm too dirty, you know what I mean? And God had to work in me the fact that all of us are sinful, all of us are unclean and dirty in our, according to God's standards. But he's made us right with him by the blood of his son. And so he doesn't see us that way. And he wants us, regardless of our condition, to pursue him. And he doesn't require perfection. He wants persistence. Have you ever heard that before? I love that. And so when I realized I didn't have to be perfect to serve, and I started serving, I stepped out into this ministry with teen moms just because I was a teen mom, right? And it struck a chord with me, and I was seeing the purpose of God making me God having, those cards for me, right? I became a teen mom, and for me that was so difficult and hard, but now God is using it to his glory because he's using my testimony to relate to these other girls who need encouragement and guidance, and they trust me because I've been there. And I've built amazing relationships because of it, and I love this organization so much, and I would have never ever been a part of this or been invited to go to camp or feel this overwhelmingly satisfied feeling. I feel like my purpose is really being used, it's being utilized, my gifts and who I am and how I relate. It's really being used in this ministry, in this avenue that I've found for myself, or that God led me to, I should say. And had I continued in that mindset of thinking that I couldn't be used until I was perfect, I would never, ever, ever, I would never have joined. And I realize how much that affects so many people. And how so many people are not living life, are not, they're not walking in the purposes or gifts that they have because the enemy has condemned them, by having them look at their sin and see how sinful and dirty they are, and they almost feel like they're waiting for their sins to end before they can do anything for God. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, God wants you in any condition you're in. Like, of course, don't show up drunk to lead an AA meeting. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you don't have to wait till you're perfect to be used by God. And it's so cool too how he's used this ministry to really refine me and to work things out in me that I hadn't worked out yet. And I'm being fed as well as feeding. And it's an amazing relationship that I've got with this mentoring program. And I guess that's what I wanted to come on here and encourage today. I didn't realize that was the message, but that's what it is, that you're not too dirty and you're not too sinful and you're not too far gone for God to use you. And the enemy wants you to believe that, and it's a lie. Glorify God. Pursue him. If you want to serve in any capacity, and you feel that your heart pulling towards something to do, go for it. And trust that God will see you through it. He will he'll provide the strength and what you need for it. And if it's not meant for you, you'll know. He'll let you know. There's a lot of things. I used to think that I wanted to be in music ministry. So I really, really, for a hot minute there was pursuing that. And what I realized for me, not for all artists, is that for me, the music ministry was not about God as it was more so about, it turned into me I want people to think I sound good. So I was so busy concentrating on, I want people to think I sound good, that I wasn't actually worshiping. And it became about me, and it was the wrong ministry for me because I was focusing on myself, and I didn't realize that God had to teach me that, right? God had to teach me that that is not the right ministry for me, because it's not in my spirit and in my heart. I am not glorifying God with it. I am trying to glorify myself. And so God had to humble me in that. And it wasn't until he showed me this direction to go with, seeing my pain and the things that I'm healing from, right? My traumas and, this thing that impacted me so much becoming a teen mom. It impacted my life in such a huge way. And he's taking that and he's using that as a way for these girls to trust me and talk to me and know that I'm a person that when I speak to them and I encourage them or I give my advice, they know that I'm not a person that doesn't understand or hasn't been through it and I'm just pulling stuff out of my behind. You know what I mean? They know that my words to them have value. And God makes sure of that. God makes sure of that. And he gets all the glory. I feel so excited that I get to witness it and be a part of it. And you can too. You can anywhere. You don't even have to join a ministry. It's just stop thinking that you're too dirty to be used. Stop thinking you're too far gone. You never are. You never are. Never, never. But all right, guys, have a good one.